The phone lines are open at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. Now let's introduce your host for the show, Scott Kincaid and Brian Pasquale.
Good evening, guys. Thank you for listening to the Hey Peanut Sports Show here at St. Barnabas and WVP in 99.3. Brought to you by Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing Specialists. You can reach me at 412-969-1167. It's gutter cleaning season. We are here to take care of all your roofing and gutter needs. I'm excited this week. I hope you're excited this week. I imagine you guys didn't have a clue. We did say that you were coming last week, so there was a mishap on the show, so I didn't get. I had the show to get recorded, so I rewatched it. I don't remember seeing us mention it, but Joel Del Rosario is in the house, and we just love to see him. So we are going to talk about football, but I'm excited to talk about baseball when I have someone like Joel in the house. We're going to talk about baseball. How you doing today?
Thank you so much for having me, Scott. I'm good. Like you said, gutter season kicked in today, so yeah, I'm excited about that. It was a great winter last winter, expecting the same thing. And I'm happy to be back. It was a great time last time I was here, and I'm ready to give whatever I can to this show.
Nice.
Yes.
I've been tossing and turning on what our topic is going to be, and then I've just been picking his brain. I'm just wearing him out. He's just like, he's probably tired of this. But I do have a subject here because it's not baseball season. There are baseball fans out there that are sad like me. I mean, we still have football we can watch, and it's great. Steelers are doing well, and we'll get into that later.
Yep.
But you enlightened me today, and I did not know this. And every time I peck your brain, I find stuff out. Like the Little League we talked about earlier in the spring when we had that the last time you were here. So tell me about this baseball that still goes on, and I'll just let you tell the audience because I think this is amazing. As soon as he told me today, I started to look up where I can stream it, and there's games going on here in about a week, right? Is when it starts.
Actually, already started in the Dominican Republic, some other countries. Obviously, I'll get to all those details here in a minute. But
We're cutting to the chase here. Let's just. I know you guys are wondering, what is he talking about? There's no baseball, but there is baseball, and these just explain to them, and then I'll highlight what I found fascinating.
There is baseball, and there is really good baseball. And I know that our conversation came about today because one of the players that I teach just yesterday came into the facility. It was his time for his lesson, and he looks at me, man. I'm so upset that my season is over. No more fall baseball season for me, and the World Series ended, so there's no more baseball going on. And it's kind of like I don't like football. I'm not too much of a hockey fan either. So I would like to have an idea of what to do about baseball besides just coming here and practice. And I'm like, well, there is a whole nother world of winter baseball out there, believe it or not. And in the Dominican Republic, as well as in some other Caribbean countries, there is what we call the National Winter League. The National Winter League basically is a league that Dominican Republic does it. Puerto Rico has a league. Mexico has a league. Venezuela does the same. Panama does the same. Cuba does the same. And it is all these professional baseball players that are affiliated with the Major League Baseball. So a lot of the minor league players or young Major League Baseball players or up-and-coming stars, there is a local league where there is representative of different cities or towns in the country, and there is a full-blown league there, right? I grew up.
That's so exciting.
I grew up there, and that's what I watched this before I started even watching Major League Baseball, because that's all you know growing up in a small country like that, especially in the time that I grew up with that. Cable TV was not what it is today. Streaming stuff online didn't exist. So you watch what's on TV, and what's on TV is local baseball. So that is who you follow, the team of the town that you either were born or your family is from. And that's what kind of comes through your blood.
So basically, like, you're watching Major League Baseball. It's kind of off season when in season is right now.
Right
if you were a
now,
little kid, you're going to the.
It's nuts.
This is just
I
fascinates me.
I cannot explain to you how passionate people are about this thing. The city where I was born, there is 2 teams in the intercity series because they play quite often throughout the year because they don't have a lot of teams, right? It's pandemonium. It's crazy. People go absolutely nuts about it.
What are the names of the teams? Are they like the same as the major league teams?
Not even close. But here's how this started. If I can give you a little bit of the background of this, back in when my dad was a young man, some of the teams in the United States or in the Major League Baseball affiliation had created an affiliation with the Dominican winter baseball.
Okay.
So they supported these teams where all the players from United States, including Major League Baseball players, most of them minor league baseball players, had somewhere that they could play and work on whatever they needed to work on live baseball, not just like, go to the cage or hit off the machine. Right. They put you in there with a plan or something they wanted you to work. So all these teams assumed the colors of the teams that they affiliated with. The town that my parents are from, Santiago, the Eagles or Las Águilas, happened to be affiliated with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I grew up with those colors my entire life. Never heard of Pittsburgh in my life.
That's not the blue team, Joel.
No, never heard of Pittsburgh in my life. Never been in Pittsburgh in my life yet. My wardrobe was so black and yellow, black and gold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So to tell you that on this affiliation, a lot of the big names have played in this league. I mean, we all know who Manny Sanguillen is if you're a Pittsburgh Pirates fan.
Oh, yeah.
I have a great story, by the way, if you guys have a minute.
I have another story I want you to tell, but go ahead and tell this story because yours are always great.
I have a great story about this. So I was a bartender down in Station Square right out of college. And on Sunday afternoons, right after the Pittsburgh Pirates afternoon games, my main regular every Sunday was Manny Sanguillen. He will come in with his wife, sit down there. Manny, if you're listening, hi, ¿cómo estás? He is from Panama. He's not Dominican, but he used to come and see me every Sunday. Number one, I hope for the good service that I offer, but number two, the relationship that he had, that he could come in and speak Spanish to someone, be served in Spanish, and he come every Sunday. So we became very close in that relationship, right? Bartender, regular, which is for a lot of people a very close relationship. Yeah. So he'll come, eat the same pasta. I will make his same pasta, his same salad, everything that he always had. I didn't know the story of Sanguillen at the time very well. So one day I'm in Dominican talking to my father, and my father was a huge Manny Sanguillen fan because he grew up watching him playing for the Eagles in the Dominican Republic, right? Oh. So my dad came to visit one day. Never told him the story about Manny coming to the bar, all that. That's kind of like small story when it comes to talking to your parents every day, especially when you talk to them only so often. Anyway, long story short, take that to the Pirates game, and I say, Dad, come here, man. Let's go meet someone real quick. And you know that Manny Sanguillen has his grill there, and he's signing autographs. There's this very long line, and I said, come here, Dad. So I kind of stepped to the side of the line, wave at Manny, and Manny stands up. Dominicano, he calls me, and calls me over. My father's face, you can only imagine what this did to him.
Wow.
And Manny comes around the table, hugs me, meets my dad, signs some autographs. One of the best experiences that I could possibly give my father as a young man, because your dad always giving you these great experiences. I'm like, this is my time now to do something for him.
Wow.
That was really cool. And all this came about this.
How does he feel that you're a Mets fan?
I don't think we ever talked about it. I left it as it is. Well, at least the Pirates and the Mets are not rivals, so it's not like I'm saying that I'm a Reds fan.
Right. You grew up the blue team.
I grew up the blue team,
but that doesn't necessarily make you your team. I've been trying to jump bandwagons here for a while. Brian won't let me, so I'm trying. Hopefully this helps. Did you notice the table?
I see.
What do you see here? If you're on the radio, make sure you check into Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and see what we got on the table. This is just the beginning of a great contest that we're going to do by the end of the year. We're going to find I keep seeing these license plates. You see these, Ryan? The greatest number one fan of the Steelers or the Pirates or the Penguins. They all have them.
Yeah,
I'm the number one fan. I don't think there's that many number one fans. I want to find out who actually is number one fan, and so I'm putting together this prize package of these bobblehead dolls, and I keep collecting them, and by the end of the year, this thing's going to be huge. I think Frank, if you're listening, I don't know what he said. He said he would throw in if this takes off, but what I need you to do is go on to the Beaver County Radio Facebook Live and comment your name and an email address so that we can email you the questionnaire to see if you are the greatest number one fan of Pittsburgh sports.
How many?
And if you are, you're going to win these great things. Look at this statue I got today.
Oh, I got plenty to say about what you have in front of you.
That statue is so fabulous. It's Brian Hayes, he just won. What did he just win?
He just won the Gold Glove. But I do have a couple questions about this.
He's a bobblehead doll. That's already worth $100.
I do have a couple questions. What is this? It's a questionnaire. Make that a little bit more clear. What it is that the people are going to have to do in order to win. Is it one of these things? Do they win all these things?
Oh, well, this is going to get complex because the prize is going to be so big. As you have to keep listening because as we do along, we're going to give keywords to make sure you were listening so you can get points because a lot of these questionnaires are going to be tied. And so we're going to break it down, and there's going to be finals and quarterfinals. And if you're the biggest fan, you really want all this stuff, which I think is great.
And you said you have more stuff coming as well.
He's going to keep growing.
There's not going to be enough.
You're not going to see
by
Scott
the end of the
soon.
year. There's going to be so much stuff here.
It's going to be a mound.
I love going out and collecting it. I have a great source of getting this stuff, and so you'll see your prize grow. And you guys, I'm sure that we're going to start adding tickets to games.
I got to be honest; it would really help your promotion, Scott. If you were the hard hat during the show, I would be more intrigued to play.
I know. Only the diehard Pirates fans are going to remember Jack Wilson.
Oh, Jack, of course.
And so I got this thing, and oh my goodness, it's signed.
And his son just got drafted this past year to the A's. Jack Wilson's son.
Jack Wilson. Wow.
He was a top 6 pick, I believe. He was in top 6.
And we're going to keep baseball alive at least through December with the Pirates, but I love that we brought this up with you because now where do we go to stream the games?
Well, let me tell you, I don't know about the other leagues because obviously I'm Dominican, so that's the one I follow. There is an app that you can download on your phone and follow this league with scores, with in games and whatnot. Now, if you want to watch these games live, the way I do it, you go to YouTube. YouTube has a lot of live TV involved. So all you have to do is Google Dominican Winter League.
Last year, who played? Big names. Name some big names from the Pirates. Did they play?
Well, O'Neal Cruz was in the, I believe, I played for the Licey, which is one of the city teams down there in the Dominican Republic.
Do we expect him to play in this year?
I don't know because of his injury.
I have a little insight on this. I just read yesterday, guys, because he just got cleared to play about 2 days ago by the Pirates. Now he's asking the Pirates for permission to see if he can go down and play this offseason.
There you go.
And it's still hanging in the balance. We don't know if we want him to go down. We don't want him to re-injure himself. So it's kind of a thing right now.
Yeah, and it's a great, man. It's a way that they do have to ask for permission from their teams, obviously, because they want to make sure that there's a health involved with it. They want out of big contracts involved with it. But they sometimes send them with a specific assignments, you know?
Yeah.
You're going to play so many innings. You're going to take so many at-bats. You want to play every so often. So there is a plan behind these big guys to play there. And then if you're in the minor leagues where you have such a short season, and they think you may have a shot to come to the major leagues, so they want you to have more at-bats, they'll throw you in there for the full season. I mean, it's hard for me to think off the top of my head how many players have gone through it, but we're talking about big names like Adrian Beltre, Albert Pujols, David Ortiz, Vladimir Guerrero.
Only the biggest names.
I mean, all of those guys at some point were affiliated with these teams and played there, and some of them later in their careers, Pujols, Manny Ramirez, guys like that went back towards the end of their careers
and played again
just to kind of give back to the teams that kind of give them a chance when they first started. It's really neat. It's really neat. And to complete this idea, then the champions of all these leagues, they do what they call the Caribbean World Series. And then they have a series where Dominican Republic faces Puerto Rico, faces Mexico, and all these teams. And then at the end of this tournament, there is a Caribbean champion.
That don't, like me, Like I'm half a day old. I'm a half a day old.
Oh, the lights are lighting. They're blinking, Scott, after you said that.
And so the Hey Peanut Show, we're going to find out more about this, and we're going to start following this, and we're going to report who won the Caribbean World Series, because I think this is fascinating.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
So you've been listening to WBVP 99.3 here at St. Barnabas. It's brought to you by Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing Specialists, taking care of all your roofing needs. 412-969-1167. We'll be right back, and I guess we're going to hear from Brian. He's going to call in and tell us what he thinks about last week's Steelers-Titans football game.
All right.
I'm sure he's got a lot to say.
I can't wait.
We'll be right back.
TEK Roofing Specialists are known for quality, honesty.
Welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show, brought to you by St. Barnabas here at WBVP 99.3 and Tamco Building Supplies. TEK Roofing Specialists, taking care of all your roofing needs. It's gutter cleaning season. Make sure you give us a call at 412-969-1167. I think we have a caller on the line. Is that my boy? What's up, Brian?
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen?
Doing great, man.
What's up,
Doing
brother?
great. Are you getting to see us?
Can
you see us on Facebook, or are you just on the phone?
No, I'm just on the phone now. I watched most of the last segment, though. First off, I have a question. It's gutter cleaning season. How much is it to get your gutters cleaned?
$150, get your gutter cleaned, and roofing inspection, and I guess that's it. I mean, it's guaranteed. $150
Nice.
per house. Just give us a call. We often find a lot of things you don't even know. Like customers, Joe will attest for this. He works with us, so we'll go do a gutter cleaning, and it may cost you an extra $100 to get something fixed, but it's saving you thousands because you didn't even know there was a big hole in your roof.
Right. Yeah, especially damage inside and whatnot.
I just went through that today.
We did just go through that today, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Mother Nature is the adversary in the roofing business. I think a lot of people don't realize we've had problems with every animal, raccoons,
Unbelievable.
squirrels, birds.
I'm surprised they don't make us get
Bees.
certified on some kind of animal care.
I don't know.
Yeah, especially if you have trees close to the roof or porch or whatnot.
I think the worst one we had was that we went there. We didn't realize the baby raccoons were in the house. So we get there during the day, and we sealed off the house and closed it off. And they had scheduled for a new roof. And it was scheduled actually for the next day, or wasn't it?
It was something like that, yeah.
It was the next day, a couple of days. He was scheduled to go down. But the mama and daddy came back to find out that their pathway to their babies was not there. And so the attic space where they were getting in was right over their children's bedroom. And the mom and daddy were like they were screaming like some kind of noise. I've never heard a raccoon scream, trying to get in the window, and the kids were freaked out. And they finally, one of the babies climbed through a wall and ended up in the bathtub or something.
It was wild.
It was really nuts.
It was
really nuts. And you know, that's me driving at 11 o'clock at night to try and get to the bottom of it. It was fun.
Yep.
That was a fun job. Anyhow, we're going to steer off a little bit of baseball because you're on the line, Brian. I know that you're excited about your pick from the Steelers. I'd like to know what you think. I mean, other than that you were right, and I think you got lucky.
I'm always right.
I
don't
think
I've
you
ever
got
been wrong,
lucky.
except for
I
when
would
I'm
explain
wrong.
to me how you predicted that game to go down that way, because that was a crazy football game. They still did not get as many yards, first downs, everything else. It was still a lopsided, weird win. So
Yeah, 5 times this year.
So is that what you're going with? That I had a gut instinct it was going to be a weird win because it didn't go
Tennessee
according to
stinks.
the game plan of the Steelers. That was not the Steelers' game plan, was to win it that way. Their game plan was to win it at any cost, I'm sure. But that was not the way they thought they were going to win the game, and that's not the way it was going to go down. And
Well, first off, I'd like to apologize to all the listeners that I'm not there for the full 2 hours. I am going to a training out here at Best Towel on Steubenville Pike in Robinson. That's from like 5 to 7. So I'm doing a training for a product that I use for shower bases and whatnot. So it's not like I'm out having a good time. I'm actually learning.
product training. You're learning
Yes,
product
correct.
training, new products.
So I went to the Steelers game, and let me just tell you, I usually drive down to like the Castle Shannon area. Obviously, you guys know where the Pittsburgh Sports Bar is and your shop.
Yep.
And I jump on the T right there at Memorial Hall, which is the Castle Shannon Fire Station. They gave me a ticket, by the way. I don't think they can give me a ticket. I don't think it's a lawful ticket, first off. But I do owe them $4.50, so I will go down there. I'll probably give them $50 just because they're volunteer firemen. Anyway. So I took the trolley down, and it took an hour and 10 minutes to get there. It's normally 20 minutes.
He stopped everywhere,
wow.
probably, huh?
It was loaded with people.
It was just awful, right? So I get there, I meet my buddy, and we have these great seats. We're right on the closed end, right in the end zone. We're 2 rows back. The takeaway from the game that I got was there's no flow to football. You know, you watch a soccer game, it's action nonstop, right? Baseball, they go, there's the pitch clock now, there's constant movement. Basketball, it's up and down, up and down. Football's like 80% stoppage of play and very little action. And when you go to the game, because you're not watching the commercials and whatnot, you really notice it. And I was just like, I didn't understand why anybody on the offense or defense would need a break because there's so many breaks. So that was my big take from going to the game.
Hey, when you're watching on TV, you're filled up with commercials in between, and there's so many
Right,
TV timeouts that it just slows
Or you
down
run
the
to
game.
the fridge and grab a beer, or you run to the fridge and grab a sandwich. And, you know,
But if you're at the game, you're just sitting there.
Well, you have the announcers maybe giving you a stat, or they're showing replays that you can watch,
Correct.
or
It's
God knows
somewhat-
what.
yeah.
Yep.
It's somewhat confusing being at the game because it does seem like a lot of times the guys are just standing around.
Yes.
It makes you wonder how anybody can get into a rhythm. Maybe it explains why Kenny Pickett doesn't even show up till the fourth quarter, because it takes him that long to get a rhythm.
Right.
You know, because his stats are off the charts in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
but in the rest of the game, he's like, you know, why are we have this guy in?
But I agree with you, Brian. The actual time of actual play is so minimal. It's like, I don't know, 5 seconds, 11 seconds, and then you wait 60 more seconds for the next play.
Well,
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I think the average play takes like
How much-
7 seconds or something.
Yeah,
Like
much
that.
something
was-
like that.
because you hounded me all year about going to Pirates games. How much was a beer? How much was the concessions? Let's just say did you pay just
Listen.
as much at a Steelers game as you do at a Pirates game?
To be honest with you, Scott, I have no idea. Because you just go and you just swipe your card because it's cashless.
It's
So you just
cashless,
swipe
yes.
the card, and I'm old school. I never had a card until like my daughter turned 16 and made me get a card, so I could put money into her account. And so
you had to starve
I
to
just-
death and you died of thirst and you were dying to get out of there? I'm confused.
What's that?
You didn't have a beverage or something to eat for the entire game?
No, I did. I just don't know how much it cost.
Oh.
You just swipe your card, and it is what it is. I
Yeah,
don't
right.
know.
You don't see the cash kind of leaving your wallet. It's just swipe.
If I wasn't driving right now, I would totally look on my phone and tell you how much it was. I could look on my app or whatever and see what it cost. But
Oh, no,
I'm
don't
driving,
do
so
that. I need you to
think
drive
my-
safely.
I think my safety, my safety is a little more important than the cost of the beverages. But honestly, the one play, it was the end of a play, and I really had to go to the bathroom. And I'm right down on the field, and I ran all the way up the steps, went to the bathroom, washed my hands thoroughly, came all the way back down, and I still had to wait for the next play.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing him live, what was your impression of watching TJ Watt?
TJ Watt is really overrated. Don't know why he has to sit out 20 to 25% of the plays. He did make a couple good plays, and so did Highsmith, so that's good. It was good to see. It's funny, when they introduced the team, they introduced the defense.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a popularity contest. They start off with like the least popular Steelers, and then they build it up and build it up and build it up. And the last 3 players announced were Highsmith, then TJ Watt, then Cam Hayward. 'cause it was Cam Hayward's first game back.
Yep.
So, I'm sure Minkah Fitzpatrick would have been there if he was healthy. But it's funny. It's like a high school pep rally.
And I do want to add, guys, TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, they did combine for 17 pressures against the Titans this week, which was the most by any duo in the NFL, and they also, again, had the 3 sacks total. So not a bad game.
Yes.
No, not a bad game.
They both played very, very well. I was disappointed in the Titans' running game. I thought for sure that would have eaten the Steelers alive, and
I think it had a
didn't
good. They
go
had a
anywhere.
good running game. They had more rushing yards than the Steelers. They had more passing yards than the Steelers, right?
No, they have.
I don't know about rushing.
No, they have more passing yards, less rushing yards.
Less rushing yards.
Yes,
Yeah.
more total yards.
Yeah, Henry wasn't, he had a couple plays and here and there, but I just thought he was going to dominate them, and he did not.
So, I sneak this in every episode or every show.
It's a favorite.
The disc golf paparazzi caught your boy and his brother playing disc golf at Nob Hill. And the
I know where Knob
caption,
Hill is. That's in Cranberry.
all right, and then the caption is underneath it. TJ said, "Man, I'm sweating like a hog," as he's about to throw the frisbee. So,
Not like a Washington football team hog, but like a hog.
like a hog, I guess. I think somebody was like, "That's not what he said. That's what somebody said." He said. I don't think he actually posted that.
Yeah.
It's really low grade disc golf paparazzi, but they were really stoked that professional athletes are playing their sport. Nob Hill's no joke. I haven't played it, but Eddie Crow here, and you can check out Eddie Crow at WBVP on 99.3. He has some great radio if you really like to get serious. With Eddie Crow. We only have a couple minutes, Brian. Anything else you want to say before you have to go into training?
I have a question. I have a question for Joel.
Yes.
Joel, I listened to the first segment. What is the trick to let Scott allow you to talk so much? Because I need to figure that out.
That's an easy answer.
There's 2 things.
It's an easy answer. You have to be as smart as Joel.
I got 2 things for you, Brian, that you don't have.
Yes.
I spend the whole day with him in the morning where he's only him talking, so it is my turn when I come up here. And the other one is you have to have an accent, so then he kind of gets soaked into my conversation. So I'm sorry,
That's
man.
it.
I wish I had a better answer for you on that one.
Well, you're doing a great job, Joel. I appreciate you when you sub in for me.
Thank you so much, man. I can help you pick up a little bit of the accent. That might help you out next week. Give me a call.
Brian with a Latino accent.
And I do want to say this, guys. I do have Brian's picks. He's sending them over via the phone. That way I could place them down. I could write them down when we do the picks later in the show because, of course, Brian isn't here today. So we do have his picks coming through as we speak.
All right, perfect. Brian, are you going to be with us a little longer for the show?
He picked a tie for every game, didn't he?
I really wanted to pick a tie for like 2 of the games. I honestly did.
Hey, one more thing, Brian. When you get a chance and you get a chance to go home and watch this, you'll notice there's a bunch of Pirate memorabilia on the table in front of Scott. And what it kind of resembles to me is when someone says they have bucko fever. And when you have fever, you do what? You throw up. It looks like Brian, or it looks like Scott has thrown up all this Pirates memorabilia all over the table in front of him. You got to check it out. Great stuff.
That was fantastic.
All right, Joel, thanks for batting in for me.
Absolutely.
Scott, take care. And Ryan, keep it up, brother.
All right, my man. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
You're listening to Beaver County Radio, 1230
I thought you were
WBVP.
Hey guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show. Brought to you by St. Barnabas here at WBDP 99.3. Also sponsored by Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing Specialists, taking care of all your roofing needs. Gutter cleaning season. They've just about all fell. We've already gotten to some neighborhoods where they've already fell. So 412-969-1167. If you're an emailer, it's TEK Roofing Specialist at Outlook.com. Excited to be back. I was expecting a call from Val Bianco.
Val Bianco.
Yeah, we cleaned his gutters today.
My good man, Val Bianco.
He has some history of playing catcher for the University of Pittsburgh. His brother or his son?
I believe both. He has a family.
His brother runs Bianco School.
Right? Yes, he has a family tree there that play at Pitt, and yes, he has one of his family members actually is the owner of the Bianco baseball school.
He's just an awesome guy.
Yeah,
We've done a lot
awesome.
of work for him.
Yes,
he's also an author. He wrote a book, Son of Cain.
He is.
Very popular. So,
and he makes his own wine.
He makes his own wine. We have a few customers make their own wine. I love it.
Yes.
His wine is really good. I don't even understand how this happens. Like, you're in Peters Township. How are you making this wine?
Yeah.
But I guess they import the grapes.
He's
very smart.
He's very good about it. He's not just making wine for the heck of it. He's making some real good quality wine. We had a chance to try some of his wine last year. It was very good wine.
I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. And we went today to do his gutters. Hoping that he was going to be there, Mr. Val. Let us know if we need to come back. So.
No, he wants us to build a deck on the back of his family home.
Man, anything for Mr. Val.
Yeah.
Anything.
Hopefully
for Mr.
he gives
Val.
us a call. He has not called.
No, he hasn't. Hey, Scott, I have a question for you. Now, it's very interesting to hear Joel's stories. They have great climate for baseball all year round, as we say. Now, you being from the South, being different than it is up here in the North, does it give kids more of an opportunity to play baseball a little bit longer just here in America, in North America, being South more than it is up here? Because once baseball season's done here, it's done. It's getting cold. Kids aren't going to be outside playing.
What is going on with you? Have you been to Tennessee?
No.
Okay, so just because we're South, we're the same climate as Dominica?
No.
Or the Dominican?
You're missing the point entirely.
No, it gets cold. It's cold in Tennessee.
So-
You're not playing baseball. You're doing the other. It's the same.
Listen, if I'm traveling
from
from Florida and as soon as I hit West Virginia, you could hear if you could feel it different in the weather. It gets colder when you get up north.
you acclimate though.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Does it give kids
So
a
when I
chance
first-
to play a little bit longer in the South? Or
When
is
I
it,
first moved up here, I moved up here in the summertime or in the spring and the summertime, and everybody up here was like dying of the heat, and I'm like, "Are you guys kidding?
Mm-hmm.
This is spring weather."
And I'll answer that
And
question
now,
for you.
and then
Yeah,
after
please.
I've been here, the next summer, all of a sudden 90 degrees was hot. You acclimate, your body
Absolutely.
acclimates. And so it's just one of those things, I guess, if you always in the same area. I imagine in the Dominican, there's still a winter. No? Does it get cold at all? Ever?
It's very relative. And to answer your question first,
Yes.
I lived in Miami, Florida for
Okay,
about
yes.
7-8 years. So my young boys were able to play baseball basically all year round. No, the whole entire United States South is the weather
Right.
of Miami, but you imagine California, Texas, all those kind of weather, Arizona, those kind of places, they do have seasons.
and they do get to take advantage of that
They get to
because
take a huge advantage
Yeah.
of that, and even Major League Baseball has an instructional league, which is just for people that have specific assignments, and they're normally in Florida, normally
Yes.
in Arizona. You don't get to see that because that's very controlled by each team. It's not
Right.
like they play in a bunch of different teams.
and almost like when we play where we do for the spring training, we go down and we play in Florida because
Yeah.
the weather's it allows us then. So that's kind of where I was going, Scott. I'm not saying that Tennessee's weather is.
Yeah, and then in the Dominican, it's kind of relative because it depends on what area of the country you're in. Whenever you get into the winter months, especially when you get into January, February, March, there is a difference in the weather. You feel the mornings a little cooler. I live in the city. I'm from the city, so I was born right on the coast. It's hot all year round. There's
Yeah.
no way around that. But as you get more deep into the island, where my family's from, Santiago, that I was talking about,
Yeah.
the team that they were born, my parents were born at.
A little more elevation.
It's a little more elevation. It's cooler at night, and my family, actually, my aunt lives in the mountains, like in the high mountains in Dominican, an area called Los Montones, and it is cold up there. I mean, cold.
Yeah,
jacket
right.
but that's
cold.
relative. It's cold to
So-
the people that are
So
on the
it's
island.
yes. No, it's cold. It's cold. We do an excursion. We used to do an excursion. My school still does it in January to the highest. I don't know if you know this. Dominican Republic has the highest elevation in the Caribbean, called El Pico Duarte. It's the highest elevation.
I did not know that.
Yes, in the Caribbean.
Interesting.
So you do a trip. It's kind of like a hiking trip there. It takes about 6 days to go all the way up and all the way back down. It's a huge trip.
I thought you could just
I'll
drive
give you
around the whole
I-
island in one day.
It's a lot more complex than you imagine. But anyways, you do these trips and you go all the way up in the mountains, and we have mules die from being frozen in the middle of the night.
Oh, the loss of oxygen, the elevation.
Frozen
you lose
mule, and
oxygen, right?
I'm not even a joke. Frozen mules, and you lose a mule or two, the ones that carry all the
yeah.
food and the equipment and everything.
And then
that you
you're in
need.
trouble.
Well, now you have to. The other ones got to put more work into
Yeah.
it, or you try to send somebody to bring a couple of more bags so you can finish it, so on and so forth.
That's interesting.
So there is areas in the country that are actually very cold, like almost sub-zero cold.
wow.
So it's interesting, but this is not all year round.
Yeah, right.
You go into the winter, and then those areas get that kind of weather. So it's kind of neat.
Joel he always puts things into perspective when he's on this show. He really does. Yeah, you learn something every single time he's on.
Yeah, stay tuned because later he's going to tell a story he told me before. He doesn't even know he's telling it yet. So
We need to clear that with our producers.
Only if Scott wears the helmet, then he can then tell the story.
I don't know.
I like this. I like this.
I need to wear the Tamco Titan XT hat.
As long as you keep the hat in the picture, I think it would be the same value, correct?
I don't think the hat's willing to withstand 160 mile an hour winds, but the shingle is.
I mean, if we put a little caulking on it, maybe.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So we've talked about the weather. I don't know how we got to the weather, but
well, we were talking about the baseball down south, and I know that took us into the weather.
And that kind of brings me into another thing I want to ask Joel.
well, they play baseball here in the wintertime too, as far as training, where you teach baseball.
Yeah, well, that's
an indoor facility.
Indoor facility training, and thank
if
you
you guys didn't catch Joel the first time back in the spring, I please tell everybody where else you work in the evenings. It's so impressive to me. I'm so blessed that you actually have time to come work with us at TEK, because I think what you do is a full-time job in the evenings. And please enlighten us.
And I was fortunate enough that a good friend, I consider him just about a brother of mine now, somebody that I played college baseball with, Brian Barca. He owns a facility called TK Baseball and Softball in the Hidden Upgrade. And it is an indoors facility in West Mifflin, PA, right down in Pittsburgh. And we do one-on-one workouts and training for kids, any ages. I actually just started yesterday a brand new kid, just 7 years old. So we can go as young as 7. We have kids all the way through college. And these are one-on-one workouts. The facility also offers pitching machine for softball, baseball, and cricket, believe it or not. You can just go and rent a cage if you just want to bring your son or bring your daughter and just, hit for 30 minutes, hit for an hour. You find us online. You just got to Google TK Baseball and Softball. TK stands for Training Camp, almost like if you're spelling camp with a K. And you can book everything online. You can book the workouts online with either Brian or myself. You can book your cages. You can book. We have a small field there. You can book anything that you need.
My favorite feature. Can I tell them my favorite?
Go for
feature?
it. Yes.
You know what I'm going to say. Don't
Yeah,
you?
I know exactly which one you're going with. Yeah.
So you've been to the batting cages, Ryan?
Of course.
And it's this machine thing and robot thing,
Yes.
and you just kind of got to figure out when it's going to throw the ball and hope
Yes.
that you figure it out. No, at TK, it's a video screen, and they can put any picture they want up there, left-handed, right-handed, whatever.
You change the ages, you get bigger,
and the ball
younger.
comes out of the pitcher's hand where it's supposed to, like he was pitching it to you. It's the greatest thing. It really has to be a big asset in timing. Trying to hit a 75 or 80 mile an hour pitch or faster,
And like you said, compared to that arm going around on the old machines, you got to. That's really cool.
When you go to an amusement park, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but an amusement park in Cranberry, and it's just a hole in the fence, and and then there's a little light that goes beep, and then you're waiting for this ball to come shooting out.
Yeah.
Thank God they're rubber. I didn't think I hit 3 of them balls out of the whole thing.
It's not
It was
easy
very
to do.
embarrassing.
It's not easy
It was
to
very
do.
embarrassing.
Yeah, our facility has a baseball pitching machine and a softball as well. So there's another cage that then does like a simulation of
Nice.
softball, fast pitch softball, and man, there is all kinds of other advantages that you can take in the facility, because you can have a membership, which is a monthly membership. You can use the cages unlimitedly, as long as they're available at the times that you're looking to use them. So you basically become a member, you use them as much as you want, and there's different levels where you can just use a cage or use the machines or use the field.
The impact that one session had with my son, because we don't live close enough to go all the time. It was a special trip to send him down for one session, and he never started for Elwood City, and now he's working at walking on at Youngstown State. He played in the walk on the fall game. I was so excited to be there Saturday. Trenton Malcolm, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs and a walk.
It was so awesome to hear that. He sent me all the information over the week, and you teach
awesome.
one of these kids, and you feel like they're one of your kids at that point. And I get chills thinking about what this kid's accomplished, and a lot of the things is not so much the physical side of that, but the mental part of the game. We don't only teach how to hit, we teach how to have a mental approach of what they're doing, about their work, about man, standing up there with confidence to do what you need to do.
Which is such a big part in sports, Joe. I don't know if you're roughly my age, but I remember in the 90s, one of these guys, it might have been Michael Jordan or Barkley, but they said 90% of the game was played from the neck up.
Yes.
So when you're training and helping kids, that's important to get in there and teach them the mental things as well.
Yes.
Because so much is played above the neck.
And one of you bring that up. One of the biggest professions now in sports is being a sports psychologist.
Yeah.
Each team has a psychologist now in their staff, including all the way down in the Dominican Republic. I have one of my good friends that actually came with us when we originally came to from the Dominican to play baseball here in the United States, and he is a psychologist for one of the teams down in Dominican. And it's that important that part of the game is just about the most important, if you ask me.
I would agree. I would agree.
It's the thing my profession lacks, because I think I need a therapist myself. Somebody needs to talk to me. Keep my spirits high.
You have one next to you every day.
Construction's a different line. No one cares about the guy climbing the ladder as far as whether he's crazy. They already think you're crazy because you're going up there.
What are you doing?
The therapist ain't going to help this guy.
No,
he's not going to help him. Hey, we'll be right back. You've been listening to WBVP 99.3 here at St. Barnabas, brought to you by Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing Specialists, 412-969-1167. And when we get back, we're probably going to get into some football.
TEK Roofing Specialists are known for quality, honesty, and efficiency.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show, brought to you by BVP at St. Barnabas 99.3 and Tamco Building Supplies, TEK Roofing Specialists, taking care of all your roofing needs and your gutter cleaning. Make sure you get on the list.
It's getting long.
I know. I can't believe I'm advertising it.
It's getting long. The thing about it that I like to tell people about this gutter cleaning, it's not just gutter cleaning. They get a full roof inspection out of the deal. You know, it's not just we're going to go up there and clean. We're going to make sure your roof is right, and we're going to let you know what needs to be done over there.
Yes,
make sure that you're okay for the winter.
We don't hide any secrets. We take a lot of pictures when we get up there. Things you can't see, we make sure we take pictures of it. We're licensed, insured, certified by Tamco Building Supplies to install your Titan XT shingles if you do need a new roof, and a lot of you guys might need a new roof, and I hate to bring that news to people. I try to keep your roof as long as you can. I'm not out just to sell you a roof. I'm out to make you my customer. So the Titan XT, willing to withstand winds up to 160 mile an hour. It's the highest protection. It's warranted for that. There's going to be, from what I understand, a demonstration that you can attend to down at Topgolf in Bridgeville on December 7th at 4:30. We're working it together. We may actually do an extra show. We're still working out all the details on that one, but stay tuned for that.
That'll be pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're still getting that in the works, so I probably said that a little too soon. So it's still a month away.
Yeah, details are coming, so stay tuned.
Right. Before we get to football, can I complain a little about, maybe you can explain this to our customers. I want to complain about the Pirates.
Go for it.
So did you see in the news what happened?
Which one?
Well, at the end of the year, we saw some really great life, and we were all excited. They were winning some games with Miguel Andujar and Angel, right? Is it Angel?
Angel.
Angel.
Angel. Yeah.
Perdomo. And we really liked Perdomo. Mike was on the show, and he called in the other day. You remember Mike?
Alfonso Rivas is another one you might mention with these names.
What did he get acquired?
Alfonso Rivas got picked up by Cleveland on the trade wire, or on the wires. Marcano went to San Diego. Alfonso Rivas went to Cleveland. That pitcher Cody Bolton went to Seattle, got picked up off of waivers. Vinny Capra went to Milwaukee. A couple of the guys that you mentioned, I know that they also left. They went somewhere else. But these are a lot of the names that were these in-between guys who were, as you said, giving this team life as the season was rounding out. You had your veterans who, everybody knows your veterans. You got your McCutchen,
Who's
Brian
left?
Reynolds.
Let's go with who's left.
Yeah.
Who's the starting lineup next year, and who's backing them up? How deep are we?
I do got to say,
we're not
one
deep
rumor
at
that
all.
I did hear yesterday on Ralph Williams' show on the Sports Corner. He did say that he heard that there's talk about a possibility of Carlos Santana coming back again, basically the same role that he was this past season. I mean, he went to Milwaukee to finish the season, of course, but there may be a chance we could see him again.
The Brewers did terrible in the playoffs.
They were disappointing for me. I thought they would do a little bit better.
Santana was the light of that team, too.
Yeah.
But at the same aspects, I don't know if I'm going to get excited as a Pirates fan that he's coming back. I was not excited that he left. I was happy he was here. But do I get excited about it? And that's what you're going to do? You're going to get rid of all these prospects that we had hopes for. And we went and watched these games. We filled the seats up. It wasn't empty seats at the end of the season when it probably should have been. The Pirates Nation stood up and said, we're expecting more. We're here. And we like what we see. This is going to be the future. And then, no, it's not. That's everybody else's future.
Yeah.
And these are names no one's going to remember. And so, I'm not going to forget it. I believe Perdomo is going to be big.
I have to agree with you with the Santana comment as well. I mean, I like Santana. I hope my comment doesn't show different, but
I like him too.
Santana is an older player, going to be a year older next year. So am I excited about it? I don't think so either.
It's hard.
I love to have him back, but is that who we hang in our first base for a full season?
I'm going to throw you under the bus now. You said something today to me, and it's just been sticking in my head. It's been bothering me. That's the power. That's the model.
It is the model, and no matter
So
which way.
explain to me what's the model, and how do you change the model? Is no change in the model?
I just don't know that there is a specific, and I'm not, I don't have a crystal ball in front of me to know what they're thinking, but I can see what they're doing. And what they're doing is the same thing every single year. And I know this conversation started with us today because you asked me, do you think McCutchen is coming back? And I'm like, I sure hope so. And I think he will.
Something
I think that's gonna get worked out one way or another. He's gonna come back. He's not ready to retire, and I don't think the Pirates are ready to let him go.
But that conversation came after us talking about Keller and whether or not he'll be pitching here in a couple of years.
And my answer was,
no.
I don't believe so. And one of the things that I say is there is a business side of baseball, any professional sport, but there's agents involved into these things. And the agents are not going to allow these guys to take little money. They're going for the big bucks. Yeah. And if you're a professional athlete, you have to cash in. And my conversation was, listen, if the next team is
there's no team loyalty.
There is no team loyalty when it comes to I gotta get paid so I can be set for the rest of my life, including my kids and my family.
And that's the only reason you can expect McCutchen to come back. It's the only reason you could expect him to come back. He is valuable to another team, without a doubt. Other teams would want him and would probably pay him more than we're paying him, but his team loyalty because he's set for life. Yeah.
But these guys are getting to a certain point, like Joey Votto. I think the Reds are finally giving up on Votto. I just recently heard. At what point does he become that guy where they're like, you know what, he's just a little too old to give him this money that his agent's barking at us for. And people are going to say, you know what, he's probably just going to finish his career in Pittsburgh because that's where he is. People love him. He knows that. The family loves it here. Mm-hmm. So I think he's going to be back.
But I'm saying that's the only reason. And we're just fortunate. That's the highlight of how could the Pirates fans be fortunate is if you have a McCutchen come back for one more year. Nothing else looks good.
No,
nothing else looks good. It
that
just
my friend is what we're used
to. We have Brian Hayes. He won the Golden Glove.
He sure did. Yes,
but he didn't win us enough games to make the playoffs because he was out most of the year. Not most of the year, but he was out a third of the year.
You know what? He hit the ball well when he was in. There was a couple times he slumped like everybody else.
Yeah,
but Brian Hayes hit the ball well this season.
I don't have a problem with Brian Hayes. I think he's the best player we got on the team. That's what I think. Outside of O'Neill Cruz, because we don't know yet if he's going to be the same player he was or. The potential. I guess I'm just I need to see him again. Yeah, it's been such a long time.
Yeah,
can you still do that? It seems so long.
Man, I just hate to sound pessimist about these things, man. But at some point the Pirates are not there. Don't have the team to be there at the end. They going to have to make financial decisions, and big contracts are going to go out. Who are those guys? Brian Hayes and Reynolds, right? Those guys are not going to finish their careers here.
Are you big on Reynolds? I would be okay if Reynolds would ultimately leave one day. I'm fine with that. Brian Hayes, I like him more. What's your overall opinion on Brian Reynolds?
I think he's an overall very solid player. Overpaid a little bit in the sense that this is a team that don't pay people. So why throw so much money at one player? I don't see him being the answer long term.
They signed him though when they were 20-8. When they were doing well, and he was doing well, and he was batting 3 something. A lot of people
got signed when we were 20-8.
You know what I mean? And so he just timed it out right, and everybody was interested in getting him. So he was available to other teams too, and so he was getting close to where, and we might have got lucky that they spent that money. Here's a question for you. This is how I'm going to tie in football because we're going to go right into football. Okay, so if the offense is so bad with the Steelers that the entire Steeler Nation will just flat out get out there and yell, fire Canada, which I think is wrong because I don't think it's Canada's fault. I think it's, you got to execute the play. Why are we not going, get lost Bob? Just get lost, Bob. Why are we not coming up with our own chant to get rid of the ownership of our beloved Pirates and tell them to sell, either get right or get lost? And how come we can't come up with a chant for that? Because I think we're more disgusted over the last
30 years.
Correct. And Steeler Nation is only upset for a year.
Yeah.
Maybe two.
You just answer your own question. In my opinion, because it's been so long for the Pirates. That is the standard, unfortunately.
No one cares to even get up and say nothing. Like they're already out of breath.
It hurts me. It hurts me because I love baseball. I love baseball with a passion, as you know.
And if we were great, could you imagine all the great games we go to?
Yeah, that I have to wait to see who they're playing against, so I can go watch some quality baseball. It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling.
On October 1st,
terrible feeling.
October 1st, 2013, they played that first playoff game that they've played in many years, 20 years at that point, against the Reds. Of course, everybody knows Johnny Cueto dropped the ball. This big game. Look how excited the city of Pittsburgh was. Pittsburgh was buying the clothes off the racks. They were buying every food that had black and yellow.
Right.
It was incredible.
It was incredible. Amazing things for the city. Why wouldn't you want to continue to do this for the city if you were the owners of the Pirates and for your interest in things like this? Why these things never change for the Pirates, I have no idea.
It doesn't
and I don't
make any sense.
I think it's a poor financial decision too on behalf of Bob Nutting, because look at who won the World Series?
Texas.
All right, so how many losses did they have last year?
Over 100.
And the year before that?
Yeah, a lot.
So it's possible. And the Rangers seem to, at least, and so like the Marlins, the Rangers, some clubs understand their small market, and they throw it all in every 2-3 years for their fans to give it all, and we're going to bring home a ring. And these teams somehow do that.
Mm-hmm. And somehow that
and how come we're not on that list? Are we just all of a sudden not? Like, as soon as we were at 500, it seemed like they just brought in every player that we just saw go away to play after they got to 500. They was like, oh, we give up then. We're just going to look at all this small talent, bring them all up, and you're not going to see the stars. We're going to give them rest. We're going to give them rest. We're going to do this in an era where they don't need that much rest.
I feel that there's a team that does this often. About every 10 years, they put a good team in, and I believe they won a couple World Series over the past 20, 25 years. The Miami Marlins, they get about 9 people to come to that stadium and watch baseball every night, night in, night out. They get nobody.
And you know what's sad, too? This was their year, too.
These teams, they find a way to get back in it, find a way to make a run at the World Series. Here are the Pittsburgh Pirates, still doing the same thing they've done for 30 years. What is it about this franchise that's not as good as everybody else? I mean, you have all these small market teams. They do.
We don't even have a curse. At least Boston had a curse.
Yeah, if we had a curse, we could have something to blame us on. But there's no curse.
No,
right? It's just I don't know.
Somehow that baseball helmet and that yellow foam finger, I think they could be worked into a curse somehow. But I'm going to send it back to you.
We're not creating any curses on the Hey Peanuts Sports Show.
But we do got to go.
We're optimistic here. We're going to have a good season. You've been listening to WBVP 99.3 here at St. Barnabas. Brought to you by Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing Specialists. Take care of all your roofing needs. We'll be right back.
TEK Roofing Specialists are known for quality
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show. Brought to you by St. Barnabas here at WBVP 99.3. So brought to you by Tamco Building Supplies. TEK Roofing Specialist, proudly putting on Tamco Titan XT shingles, warranted up to 160 mile an hour winds.
Great shingles.
Make sure you get on our gutter cleaning list, 412-969-1167.
Gutter cleaning and roof inspection.
So our show's from 4 to 6, so I've been pretty good since we went 2 hours, Ryan, about bringing us some food, and I think I did really good today. I brought in some.
Who's this from?
This is Just One More Sports Bar in Beaver Falls.
You bring so much good stuff in, I'm starting to lose track. Last week it was something that was Johnny's. The week before, was it Johnny's?
Johnny's
was really good. Yeah. And then the one where you brought the calzones, they were excellent.
Yeah.
Man, now you're convincing me to be here every week.
Good stuff, man.
Now we're talking.
Well, we love Just One More Sports Bar. It's down in Beaver Falls in the corner of 7th and 10th. Make sure you get down there. Tonight they are having this. I need to pull it back up. It is like a chicken pasta. No, give me 2 seconds.
Isn't it the same thing every week, Scott?
No, so I stopped in and got the pizzas tonight and tried to get an update. And because you usually go on about this anti-pasta, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that is no longer the thing.
Okay.
So, so I stopped in there, got us our pizzas, chicken parm bread bowl. I almost got us one of these things.
That sounds good.
It looked really big. Let me see a picture of it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
All right, so that's going on tonight. They have Taco Tuesdays now. Ooh. So this is new. Taco Tuesdays, $1.75 for tacos. Margaritas are not expensive either. I can't tell you how much, but they're there, and they have all these flavors. They still have wing night, still 42 flavors. If you multiply that times as many times you mix the two flavors, it's like 1 million flavors. I think Brian's figured that out with his 7 years
oh my goodness
education from Slippery Rock University. He's then figured out there's way many flavors. There's a new DJ. Every Saturday night, it's DJ Dirty Dean. So you got to come down.
Dirty Dean.
You got to get down and get dirty at the Just One More Sports Bar on the corner of 7th and 10th. I'm going to go Saturday. I don't know what this is about because,
Has Morgan Gruber, of course, she's been here on the show with us. Is she still perform down there? I know that she has performed down there in the past.
She goes a lot of different places. Her, what do you say? I guess agent.
Yeah.
Really is doing a good job with her. She can. All you have to do is go to Morgan Gruber on Facebook, and it'll give you a list of where she's going to be. I don't know what her schedule is as far as when she's going to be back at Just One More, but she is definitely. I've seen her in Zelienople.
Yes,
I mean she's originally from Farmville.
She stays very, very active. Her publicist, or as you said, agent.
In fact, she just got a whole bunch of shirts and hats. So if you're watching or listening, Morgan, I'm gonna go ahead and prop you up. There's some hats and shirts, merch that you can get through her Facebook page, and she'll send them out to you.
They're nice too. Do you see those hats?
Yeah,
the MG, and I like that.
I ordered one.
Did you really?
Yeah, I haven't got it yet. I was gonna wear it, so you spoiling the whole thing.
They got them with the black. I like it. Those are nice hats.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Yeah.
So, anyhow.
I got a question for you guys. So now that we're kind of in between sports, this was the first year, guys, 2023 for baseball, hockey, and basketball. These championships of all three of these leagues, it's the first time that all these teams won. The Rangers, this is their first World Series. The Golden Knights, their first Stanley Cup. The Nuggets, their first NBA Finals championship. Is the NFL going to produce a team that has never won the Super Bowl to be the champion this year?
The Lions.
You know what?
That's the only one that stands out that's any good this year.
And that is the legit. That is a legit guess.
A legit
that
guess.
Is such an awesome. That's awesome that you said that.
Wouldn't that be something if Detroit did it? I would be all for Detroit.
They've shown some kinks in their armor last couple games.
But you know what? Who in the NFL hasn't this year? There's a lot of teams that have a lot of kinks. Even your Dolphins, they haven't beat a winning team.
I think if I was going to pick one that's never won one now, I think I'd pick the Jaguars.
So you like the Jaguars would be another one. Yes,
They seem really good late. They started out kind of soft.
I wouldn't mind a Jacksonville Detroit Super Bowl.
Bengals never won a Super Bowl,
and that's fine with me.
They can keep it.
Browns never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, them Ohio teams. They can stay right where they're at.
There's a lot of good teams out there that have not won a Super
Bengals,
Bowl.
man, that's another team.
And what about this Houston Texans? I'm not saying that this year they are going to do it, but the C.J. Stroud, behind under center on this Houston Texans team.
They're the Pirates of the NFL. They just are. They have a way of screwing everything up.
I agree. Historically, that's 100% true.
Right.
Yeah.
But they finally have a legit quarterback. If this continues, obviously, we're not even halfway through the season. So we don't want to say we don't want to crown him yet. But always remember,
well, he's not even really signed. He's like Pickett. He's just riding that little first year term out. They haven't signed him to a multiple.
No, he's on his rookie contract, which is a good thing.
That's where I was going with it.
Yeah,
he's Deshaun Watson.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, that's where he was, and he was a great quarterback for the Texans, and then they didn't want to pay him.
But if they build this team,
then he got in all that trouble.
If they start putting the pieces in place with that quarterback as they did in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, now you're starting to see them plug all the holes and build a nice football team. They got that centerpiece. They got that nucleus with this quarterback. I'd like to see them get better. And,
And that's what I was going with, the fact that he's not the big contract guy yet. He's not eating up 30% of their payroll yet.
Right.
So they got 3-4 years still with him where they can actually do something.
Yes.
And maybe bring a big piece at some point.
Absolutely.
And make some noise. I mean,
they did get a lot of picks, and all these crazy trades they did. They got picks for nobody, like the future. So
I don't know, but I know the Bears got 2 and 3 this year. They got the second and third pick. I think that's always interesting when you get a team that gets those, 2 of those first 3 picks. Right. You have Marvin Harrison Jr. out there. You got some quarterbacks out there. So this year's draft's going to be a lot of fun, I think. But you guys want to hear a couple other interesting statistics around the NFL?
Yes.
All right, guys. So Bill Belichick, everyone always said, was it Belichick? Was it Brady? Was it the both of them? Well, we know what happened when Tom Brady left. He went to Tampa Bay. They brought a couple pieces in, and he won the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick, in his career without Tom Brady, is a 82-96 coach. In his career, 82-96. So at the end of the day, was it Tom Brady or was it Belichick? One to think about. Also, fellas, the 2023 Dolphins are 6-0 versus teams with losing records and 0-3 versus teams with winning records. This high-scoring Miami Dolphins team that's sitting high, they're obviously in a playoff spot at the moment. They have lost to every team they played with a winning record and only beat the teams with losing records. So, a couple interesting NFL facts for the day.
Yeah,
tidbits, I guess you could say.
The one thing I found interesting is the Titans made history of playing the Pittsburgh. Did you see what history they made?
Maybe. What was it?
31 players on their starting roster were undrafted free agents. And
from Tennessee.
That was a record.
Wow. That's wild.
Well,
that's more than half of your team was undrafted. Free agent.
One other quick one. Bengals, this was their first Sunday night win ever. They're 1-9 on Sunday Night Football. Believe that or not, the Cincinnati Bengals.
I read that one.
1-9 all time on Sunday Night Football.
I read that
but that's not Burrow's record. That's the Bengals record. You're talking about Dalton and a bunch of others. The Bengals.
Guys.
Are you sold on them this year?
Bengals?
Everybody's all of a sudden like, okay, they're back. They're like James Brown. I'm back.
They're back. They're looking good.
They're looking good, yeah.
We listen, there's a lot of football to be played. Still a lot to be said because this Ravens team, they shot up the list to, I think, 1 or 2 in the power poll. However, most of the tough teams on their schedule is still to come. I say we'll talk about Baltimore in about a month from now. One more thing I do want to ask you guys, what do you think about Josh Dobbs showing up in Minnesota on Monday and winning the game on Sunday as the Minnesota quarterback?
Stealing my thunder. I have a whole thing about him. I'm a big Dobbs fan.
He's a huge Dobbs fan, by the way. You just got him going. Let's go.
All right, six teams, right? He's played for 6 teams.
Is that what it is now?
Well, 5 teams in 2 years.
Not 6 different teams. 6
it was
right?
the Steelers,
like the
Browns, Cardinals, Vikings.
Browns twice, Titans, Steelers, Cardinals, Vikings.
And I believe 5 of those in the past 2 years, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Amazing. And they said that what he did was just phenomenal. He's got nicknames. His nickname up in Minnesota is the Pastronaut.
It's incredible what he did. They were talking about that they were like drawing plays on the sideline and trying to make sure that everybody knew what they were supposed to do because he just got there Wednesday.
He didn't know. He don't know half the guys' names on the team. I mean, to come on to be able to do that is pretty amazing. I am a fan. I'm a fan.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I am a fan.
That was pretty awesome to see.
I don't know if that's where he's going to continue to stay. Does he end up landing for good wherever he takes a team somewhere, and if he doesn't take a team somewhere, he's just keeps getting shopped around.
I think the only way if he gets to a roster that the starter gets hurt, like in the preseason or something like that, and then he runs through the season. I don't think that anybody will pick him up to be the starter like that.
You think if Kirk Cousins wouldn't have went down last week with his Achilles, where Josh Dobbs would be right now? You know, I mean, he's the big story.
No. You have to go way back to where would Josh Dobbs be now? We could just go way back.
That's the thing. I mean, who knows?
All these things. Hey, he was almost in the playoffs last year with the Titans and played a heck of a game where I thought, well, shoot, you just keep him, get rid of Tannehill and all the others.
At some
But
point,
then Will Levis looked good. We haven't even talked about Will Levis. That kid looked good, even though it was a loss. They named him the starter.
it is
for
like
the
a
rest of the
second
year.
coming for the people in Tennessee with his Will Levis.
Yeah.
I swear I seen the clouds open one day whenever they were showing him.
It's amazing to watch. He's got some strength. He's got some arm. You just never know what you're going to get. Tom Brady was what, 6th round pick?
You never know.
You were just combing his hair, so I figured I'd throw that out there. You've been listening to Beaver County Radio, WBVP, brought to you by St. Barnabas here at 99.3. Brought to you by TEK Roofing Specialist, 412-969-1167. Make sure you give us a call. Let's get your gutters taken care of you. Take a look at your roof and make sure you're batting down for the winter. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge, broadcasting live from the St. Barnabas Studios.
Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center in Midland presents Disney's Freaky Friday.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show, brought to you by St. Barnabas here at WBVP 99.3 in Brighton, Pennsylvania. A beautiful day. I love this time of year. A lot of things, good things are happening. Mm-hmm. It just seems like it's a spring and new. You have to be optimistic. Only Pirates fans are optimistic.
Man.
Speaking of good news, how do you call this, Ryan? Our co-show, not our co-show, our sister show.
Sister show. That's
sister show. Ralph Williams. We love the guy. If you're listening out there, Ralph, I hope you're having a good night. I hope you're taking care of yourself. He got 2 hours, just like we did, and moved on up. And what time is that?
So now, just like us, we are Wednesday from 4 to 6. Beginning January 2nd, he's going to also be from 4 to 6, but his is Tuesday. So from now until then, He has a 5 to 6 hour show, 1 hour at the moment. But on January 2nd, he will be going to 2 hours full time. And just like ourselves here at the Hey Peanuts Show, it will be from 4 to 6 every Tuesday evening.
Nice.
Right. So, yeah, make sure you guys listen to that. He's definitely got a lot of stuff going on. He's also on the Facebook. Speaking of podcasts, might as well go ahead and talk about the Two Dumb Yinzers.
Oh, them guys.
Oh, man. I love your show. I listen to it. I don't ever get a chance to call because you call, like your show's on while I'm working.
Yeah, right.
And so I get to listen to your show. But tell us a little bit more about the Two Dumb Yinzers and what's coming up. You got some guests coming up soon?
We do. We're working on some guests. We also, Scott, we're slowly working our way to that 500th episode. We're sitting in the 440 somewhere now, but we're inching to 500. And as we do, I'm sure I'll get more annoying about it and let you know more often. But in the meantime, you can check us out. We do have a website. You could go to www.the2dumbYinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbYinzers.com, spelled with the way that Scott likes to say, like the dum-dum, correct?
Yes.
D-U-M, not D-U-M-B. So check it out, the2dumbYinzers.com. Also, the show is on every day from 11 to 12 a.m. to 12 p.m., of course, on YouTube, or you could catch it later in the day when we upload that same episode up on Spotify.
Are you going to cover NASCAR when you get to the 500th?
I don't know. I mean,
you've seen that what happened this weekend?
It's always a possibility.
Ryan Blaney won the NASCAR.
Who knows?
2 years in a row.
I got to be honest, Scott.
Ford's the first time that they've won all 3 of the series, the minor, whatever you want to call it.
You can't count it out because on the very last show that we had, I sang a little bit. So it could be a little bit of anything. But yeah, so we will see about that. But yes, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that plug.
Nice. So,
you're talking about racing, by the way. I was in Las Vegas this past weekend.
We wanted to talk about this. What's going on with it's Formula One?
Formula One. I was in Las Vegas this past weekend for a softball tournament that I go to every year, and it is mind blowing the production that goes behind a Formula One event.
That goes on in the city, like they ride the cars through the city.
Yeah, because it is
the main drags.
Yeah,
Vegas is already a traffic problem if you've ever been there.
Yeah, it is the one circuit that runs in the cities, and we talk about major cities that they do this. And this one coming up is in Las Vegas. That is the weekend of the 19th of November, I believe. And they go through Las Vegas Boulevard. They have a whole route. It's about 3.5 miles roughly, the full route. And they have built stands in the middle of Las Vegas.
Wow.
They have blocked all different kinds of streets. I understand that I used to be a big Formula One fan when I was a kid. Saturday mornings is normally when they run those races. So, you wake up Saturday morning with nothing to do as a kid, turn the TV on, being an international sport as big as it is, that was what it was on TV. So you watch it, right?
I watched it.
And I stopped watching it for a while and then slowly kind of started to pick it up again. It's pretty interesting. But I was watching the last race that I was watching, I think it was in Tokyo, if I'm correct. They were talking about that there was over 300,000 people that go to this event on a weekend basis.
And we think that the Michigan Wolverine Stadium with 100,000 people is a lot of people.
And this is a 5-year, right? It's like a 4 or 5 year deal they made with Vegas. So every year, Vegas, if you live there, you have to deal with it. If you're an Uber driver, we talked about this.
Yeah.
This really has to change things. It's like, okay, I just need to go 2 blocks. Well, that's going to be $22 because we got to go 3 miles to get around it.
Even if that. I mean, we were there, and one of the things that's happening is they constantly blocking something new daily. Because this is a big, it's a big production. So coming back from the airport, coming into Las Vegas from the airport on an Uber, the GPS is not updated to whatever barricade they put that afternoon, right? So then what is a 15-minute drive from the airport to my hotel became a 45-minute ride because then the Uber goes, man, I'm sorry, I guess I got to go all the way down the street now. Or you turn.
What can he do?
There's nothing you can do. So most of the Uber drivers were saying, I am not even coming around the city for that weekend because it's not worth it.
Well, you were in Vegas for a softball thing. We'll get into that for a second. But when we were talking about that, how much, because you asked around, we were like, how much the rooms are going to go for during the race ridiculous.
Which by the way, cool. Interesting that you said that. I just read this morning that apparently all those rates, the rates were like at least tripled in the hotels, because if you're in a hotel that oversees Las Vegas Boulevard, you get to see the race.
Right.
So you can imagine. I mean, we're talking about $1,200, $2,000 room for the weekend. Well, apparently there is this huge thing going on that their hotels didn't sell the way they thought they were. And they reduced the prices this past week. And everybody that had to pay non-refundable fees are up in arms now trying to get refunds for the difference on the...
I paid $2,000 for an $800 room. The guy next to me is getting $800, and
and he's non-refundable, so you can't cancel it.
And he's getting the room for $650.
Yes, yes.
That's wild.
And it's funny because me and my one friend on Sunday were having the same conversation because we just came back from Vegas together, and we were just curious. I'm curious how much a plane ticket will be around that time.
Yeah.
So I literally went to Southwest and looked, and I was like, I wonder the hotel that I stayed at, which is right in Las Vegas Boulevard, Flamingo, which the race is going to pass right in front of it. Wonder how much the hotels were, and it apparently was right when they knocked down the prices. And it was at regular prices, like $140 a night. I'm like, that's not that expensive. And the very next morning, I read in the paper that it's a huge situation going on with that. So there you go. That's what's going on in Las Vegas. But this event, if you're a car race fan,
Formula One's the ultimate, because
watch this thing, man.
Well, I mean, in NASCAR's it's neat because it's a little old school, and they keep trying to update it. This new, whatever it is, the modern car of NASCAR now, which is not what it used to be, but they still incorporate the fact that you've got to take off all lugs, and put the tire on. And then if you watch Formula, it's just one zoop, zoop, and it's done. The time that they're in the pit at Formula One is a blink of an eye compared to what they do at NASCAR. And I'm not taking away what they do in NASCAR, but it's just kind of funny. And compared to, like, that's not the best you could do. That's just keeping it kind of old school so that there could be a competition in the pits. Well, there's still competition in the pit at Formula One. It's just a half a second is a difference compared to 2 seconds. Yeah,
you think about the Formula One cars they're half electric, half gas, so they don't have to gas the way the NASCAR are. But if you're a fan of race cars of any kind, watch one of these races, because the announcers of these races are so knowledgeable, and they share all this knowledge throughout the entire process of the race, that you feel like you know Formula One by the end of one of those races.
Usually
that's what's cool about it, because you kind of learn all the ins and outs about
the pre-games are really good. The pre-race is really good, because then they let you know about all the new technology that's came along in the Formula One, and it's amazing.
It is amazing. I was.
Who's leading now? Like, it's a Ferrari still?
I don't know this information. I don't want to say anything that I think it's Ferrari, but I don't know. I'm gonna get involved in it the week before that race, because I am watching Las Vegas race. There's no doubt about it. I was just there, and I kind of want to be like,
right.
Oh, I was just having a beer right there.
Absolutely. And I tell you, for guys that love cars, this is the ultimate sport. I mean,
it's impressive.
Now, you go to Vegas every year. We're gonna switch subject just a little bit, and while we got 2 minutes, so you get 2 minutes to tell us about this softball tournament that you won 2 years ago, but you're a lifetime going there every year. And explain this softball tournament.
I got involved with this a few years ago. One of my friends, a group of my friends, used to do this tournament. What they do is they get a bunch of people from all over the United States. Las Vegas is being, I think, their biggest tournament. They do at the end of the year. It's the last tournament of the year. And they do a random draft. It's called Spiders Mega Draft. So they do a random draft of all these people, 1,200 people, and then you get about 100 teams.
But not anybody can sign up. You have to be a good softball player.
No, anybody can sign up.
I could come in this thing.
Yeah, but if you can get in, because these things sell out in like a minute.
Not you, Scott.
But that's the cool part. That's the cool part about it. You big guys that are very good softball players next to grandma that just went to celebrate her 75th birthday softball.
So you don't know who you're going to get on your team.
So you have no idea who you're going to get on your team. And then I was fortunate enough a couple years ago to win that whole tournament. And when I first heard about this, I'm like, that doesn't sound fun, right? I went to one, and forever I'll go for as long as I can keep playing, because it's one of the best times I've I've had in a softball field, especially winning it that year. And it's that one time of the year that all these softball players, friends of ours, that we played together and we always like competing and going against each other and doing all these things, we travel together to a whole nother town, and then we cheer for each other. Because everybody's on a complete separate team. So then you sit there, drinking beer, smoking a cigar, cheering on your friend. And if you even look at the videos of some of these games, sometimes you take a video, you're at bat and whatnot, you can hear a huge crowd behind you cheering Joel, whatever nickname they want to put you for that tournament. Wow. It's awesome. Right. It's awesome. So
I saw you hit the dinger 2 years ago to win the thing, and the ball just disappeared in the night.
It was
the most amazing home run video I've ever seen. It just disappeared.
The rumor is it never landed yet. It still hasn't landed.
Still going. It's at the what's the name of the lake? Hoover Dam.
The Hoover Dam.
Yeah. That's the nearest lake to Vegas. I know.
But it is a way to kind of like make softball fun at the end of a long season of travel and all that stuff. So it's really neat. And not to mention, then you're in Las Vegas.
We've been having so much fun. We're going to run out of time. We're going to take one more break here, maybe a couple. We're going to take a break right now. Then we come back, we're going to go into this week's picks. So you've been listening to WBVP 99.3 here at St. Barnabas. Brought to you by Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing Specialists, taking care of all your roofing needs at 412-969-1167. We'll be back.
TEK Roofing Specialists are known for quality, honesty.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show, brought to you by St. Barnabas here at WVP 99.3 and Tamco Building Supplies, proudly, TEK Roofing Specialist, proudly installing Tamco Titan XT shingles. Give us a call, 412-969-1167 for all your roofing needs. It's gutter cleaning season. Won't be long before it'll be frozen in there. You remember those days. Anyhow, if you missed the first part of the show, if you go to Beaver County Radio Facebook and watch the videos of the Hey Peanut Sports Show, you'll see this eclectic display of Pirates and Penguins memorabilia. This collection is going to continue to grow. We're going to do the greatest Pittsburgh fan giveaway at the end of the year. So if you'd like to be a part of this contest, go to the Facebook, in the comments, give me your name and an email address where I can email you our Are You the Biggest Fan questionnaire. And then we're going to select some out of those. We're going to select the top ones out of those. And then there's going to be more to this game because the prize is going to keep growing. Everybody's going to want this.
I have one concern, if you will. By sending them the questionnaire, doesn't that give them the opportunity to just Google the answer?
Oh, no. It's not one of them. It's not a trivia question.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
We want to know how old were you when you were your first fan? What was your first fan experience?
So you want to see what the fans experience.
Who's your favorite player?
Gotcha.
Things of this nature.
I guess you can't look that stuff up, right?
Right. Right. We want to know who you are.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
This is not
Google cannot give you that information.
Right.
Correct. Right. Correct. So anyhow, we have to hurry up now. We're going to get into these NFL picks. Let's let Brian. This is your house, man. You run this show.
This is when you finally let me talk. So here we go, guys. They usually keep me locked away in a room until this moment comes. So I'm excited to get at it. Here we go. What we got this week, guys?
We do feed him, though, folks. We do feed him.
They do feed me. So Brian, of course, as you see here, is not on the show today, but we do have our special guest, Joel. So he is going to sit in. He's going to make special guest picks as well as the host, Scott, as usual. So we're going to start, guys, with the Thursday night game. This football game tomorrow night to kick off the week is against, I don't know, two subpar teams, I guess you could say. But it is between the Carolina Panthers at the Chicago Bears. I'm going to start with our guest, Joel. Who do you think is going to win this week? Panthers at Bears.
I'm going to take Chicago on this one. The Bears are going to win this one, in my opinion. I'm going to give the home team the advantage on this one.
All right, not a bad pick. Scott, over to you. Panthers at Bears.
I like the Panthers. I think they're up and coming. The young quarterback is starting to show some muster, so I'm picking the Panthers.
All right, we're going to boom around.
Where'd Brian pick?
Well, Brian is sending them as we speak. I don't have all of his picks as we speak, but we will get them. I will certainly put them to work.
As long as we get them before tomorrow.
Absolutely. So we're gonna boomerang
He'll
back.
send his in on Tuesday is what I'm thinking now.
We are gonna boomerang back to you, Scott. This next game is gonna be the 9:30. I suppose it's the European game. They've been doing Germany. They've been doing England. I'm not sure where this is at.
I believe this is Germany.
This is Germany as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the game in Germany on Sunday morning, 9:30 Eastern time for us. The Colts at the Patriots. Scott, the Colts at the Patriots. Who do you think?
I just think the Patriots are going to travel better. And then I think they're going to have a home field advantage because people in Germany know who the Patriots are. They're internationally known, where the Colts, they won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Was it not the Patriots who just got beat by the Washington Commanders? It was. I was looking for more of a response. So you are going to stick with the Patriots.
Every week's a new week.
All right.
Didn't the Patriots just beat the Bills 2 weeks ago? So it's just every other week.
I don't
We just
retain.
never
I don't know.
The NFL's kooky this year.
We're going to swing over to Joel. Joel, the next game for you is, sir, the Colts and Patriots. The Patriots playing as the home team, but of course we know they're over in Europe. Colts, Pats, what do you think?
I think I'm going to take the Patriots as well. And I'm going to go a weird direction on this one is because of the experience of Belichick playing in neutral places and getting his team ready to go. I think he's going to have his team ready to go in a neutral place and win this game.
When you think about it, nobody's...
I know. He just totally missed the first part of the year and he has a losing record, though. His reputation
But
is
the
Tom
guy
Brady's.
preparing for games not in his stadium or the opposing team stadium has got to be more than most people just because of the amount of Super Bowls he was in, right?
That is exactly why I said it.
Yeah.
Didn't he coach the Patriots when they were lousy, too? And he coached the Jets
And the Browns. He was a Browns coach.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of the losses there.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to get his team ready to go. That's
All right.
a defensive team.
There we go. We got everybody's picks so far. Guys, the next game is one that I'm intrigued about, obviously, being an AFC North team. Browns at Ravens. I'm going to start with Joel. Joel, this might be, there's a couple, don't get me wrong, a couple big games this weekend, but for us as Steeler fans, Browns at Ravens, who do you think?
God, it's tough for me to say this team is going to win as a Steeler fan, but the Ravens are going to take this one, I think.
No, it's...
Yeah,
they're flying. They're flying high. They're beating people up right now.
Yep.
So I think they're going to take this one.
I think Teagan, our Cleveland connection, is out of. He's got a bad back.
Okay.
So all our prayers go out to Teagan Robbins up there, Matamco.
So does that make you a Browns fan for
I
the
just
week?
wanted to update on whether or not Deshaun Watson's coming back. Is he coming back?
Does that make a difference for you?
It does. I'm going to go with the Browns. I think Deshaun Watson's coming back, but maybe not.
I tell you what, with the defense on this team,
I like Philip Walker, too. I like them as quarterback. I'm going to take the Browns. This is my because I know Brian picked the Ravens. I'm either going down with this ship or I'm coming back like, the Patriots against the Falcons in the Super Bowl.
So the next two teams on the list, of course, is the Steelers-Packers game. We're going to push that to the end because we want to do our tiebreaker at that time. So I'm going to slide that game down to the bottom. We're going to jump to Jacksonville, guys, where they host the San Francisco 49ers, who are on a 3-game losing streak. This 49ers team just a month ago looked like they couldn't be beat. They're traveling to Jacksonville to play a pretty red-hot Jaguars team. Scott, I'm going to start with you. 49ers, Jaguars in Jacksonville. Who do you like?
Well, we were looking at the power rankings today. San Francisco's still 5.
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay. They're 5. What's Jacksonville? They were like 8, 7, 8, wasn't it?
It's something like that, yeah.
And San Francisco due for a win, right? 3 straight losses.
I'm going to take Jacksonville.
All right. Interesting. Interesting. Over to you, Joel. Joel, 49ers at Jacksonville.
I'm going 49ers. I think this is a get-right game for 49ers. I think that running game is gonna take over, and that defense is going to make it
Purdy
happen.
looks so bad against Cincinnati.
I just can't see them losing 4 straight.
And I feel the Jaguars are overachieving.
If they had Garoppolo, they beat the Bengals last week. Purdy looked bad. Like he was supposed to be like the second coming of Montana or something, is what you would thought. And all of a sudden, he just doesn't look good.
He's finally hitting a hurdle, in my opinion. Because
I think he's hurt. He hurt himself, and his throwing shoulder or something.
He's finally hitting some adversity now, so it's going to be interesting to see how he bounces back. But we do have to keep moving forward, guys. The Saints at the Vikings is the next game we're looking at. This also is a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. Scott, I'm going to start with you. The New Orleans Saints at the Minnesota Vikings. New quarterback, under center, Josh Dobbs. Who do you like?
Man, I just, I want Josh Dobbs to win this game. I really do.
Is that where you're going? Because you do this, you talk up Josh Dobbs, and then you turn and you take the other teams. I got to make sure.
The Saints have been letting me down. They only came through me once this year, so I'm going to go with the Vikings.
All right, interesting. Over to you, Joel. The same question: the Saints at the Vikings.
I'm going Saints on this one. I think Dobbs' situation last week had to do with the fact that the other team was not able to prepare for them. They hadn't even any idea I was going to be on the team. I think the Saints are going to take them. That's a tough defense right there. Plus, I have on my fantasy. They better win.
And yet he won't wear the helmet. I just don't get what's going on over there in that main seat.
Right, so it's the Saints.
You do got the Saints.
Yes.
I got you on record saying that, sir. We're going to start with you again on this one, Joel. This game, I think, is going to be an interesting one as well. The Houston Texans at Cincinnati Bengals. This Cincinnati Bengals team now that's starting to pick up and look like the team that we expected to see is going to be hosting this Texans team who looks like on any given week they could beat a pretty decent team. Joel, Houston at Cincinnati.
Bengals.
Okay.
And it's going to be a good game. I think that's going to be one of the best games of that 1 o'clock round.
You know what? I'd have to agree with you 100%.
You hate this because you're such a Steelers fan.
You have no idea. Did you see how I was twitching?
I hope it's a tie. My right?
Goodness.
No?
We're using camera work to keep the hives, hidden
I'm
on
trying
Joel.
to be professional.
All right, over to you, Scott. Same question. Texans at Bengals.
As much as I hate to say it too, I think the Bengals are back. Texans, this ought to be a good game to watch. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Texans sneak one out. But maybe the Bengals are riding a false high, but they looked pretty good. They looked good against a San Francisco team whose quarterback couldn't throw the football, and so that makes me wonder. You know what? I'm going to go on a whim here. I'm going to take the Texans. Just swap me up. Put me on the Texans because I think that the San Francisco they snowballed everybody and they put themselves under the radar and they're just not that good.
This game is going to be between two good quarterbacks. No matter what way you slice it, C.J. Stroud, Joe Burrow, it's going to be a good game. Next game on the list, guys, we're going to go back to your old stomping grounds. Scott, to pick the away team at least. Your team, the Tennessee Titans, they make the trip to Tampa Bay, to Florida to play the Buccaneers, guys. Tennessee at Tampa Bay. Scott, who do you like in this game?
Oh, my gosh. I don't even know what to pick.
That's a tough one.
I love Will Levis. I love this guy. I'm just like you said, everybody's just excited about this kid coming to town. But 31 undrafted free agents on the team. It showed against the Steelers late in the game. You could just see they were tired. They were more tired. I think the depth of the Steelers team is part of the reason why they overcome teams in the fourth quarter because their depth.
Yeah,
I agree.
Right? They're not that great, but because of their
They're
depth,
fresh. Yeah.
they last longer. They're like the tortoise and the hare. They're the tortoise. They're still going to finish first.
Nobody else, I got to tell you this, no matter what you say about the Steelers, nobody else gives their opponents a 3-quarter head start every week and still finds ways to win football games.
I know, right?
You know, so how bad can we actually be, guys?
Right. So I'm just going to, I want to pull for the Titans, but I really think that the home team's going to win this one.
All right, Joel, we're going to go over to you, and then we got to jump to break, and we'll come back and finish up. Who do you like in this game between Tennessee and Tampa Bay? It's in Florida. Titans at Bucks. What do you think?
I'm gonna go Titans on this one.
Okay.
Running game and a young quarterback. I think they're gonna figure out, and it's gonna be a tight game, fourth quarter, kind of winning this thing. So
Titans are kind of Pittsburghy to me in a sense because they can win any given week and they could lose any given week. And they're not a great team. They're not a finesse team. They'll get out there. They'll punch you in the mouth. They'll take a punch in the mouth, and they might walk out a winner. They put me in mind of the Steelers in a way just by the way their flow of their games go.
Yep.
So, you know what? This is a close one, I think, in my opinion. Buccaneers, Titans. So one got the Titans, one got the Bucks. Scott, go ahead and take your do your thing, man, and send us a break, brother.
Oh, great. You've been listening to WBVP 99.3 here at St. Barnabas, brought to you by Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing Specialists, taking care of all your roofing needs. Give us a call at 412-969-1167, and we'll be back to finish up the rest of our picks.
Have you heard the phrase that champions are made, not born? Well, not only does it take hard work and dedication to become
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show, brought to you by WBVP 99.3 here at St. Barnabas. Also brought to you by Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing Specialists, 412-969-1167. Make sure you get down to Just One More Sports Bar. We just had their fire baked pizza.
Oh, it's good. It was a good pizza. However they made it.
It's fire baked pizza.
Fire baked.
And make sure you get down there. All their food's good. My favorite's the Supreme Grilled Cheese with bacon. You can, I just throw the bacon on there. It's called a Supreme Grilled Cheese. They make it with
what was
all
the
those cheeses.
I don't want to cut into their plug at all, but that one where you brought in the calzone that had the peppers in it. Where was that from?
That was not just one more sport.
No, that was really good. I like that calzone. That was a stromboli, correct? A stromboli.
I didn't have time to go. No, that was just a pizza roll.
Oh, wow. It was really good.
Yeah. And I was running late, and where I stopped to get my gas every morning is the B&B Market in Elwood City, and they have a little deli thing in there. And
there you go, B&B.
I was late. I love B&B. You know, that gas station that I go to is the only one I know of that still has the guy out there who pumps your gas.
I like that.
You just don't see those anymore.
No.
And so I make a point to go there. The guy's name's Clayton, one of them anyways. Big baseball fan, went to a Pirates game with him. I keep trying to get him to call in and talk on the show. He knows more about Pirates baseball than anybody. That's all he does all day is pump gas and study Pirates.
All right.
So anyhow,
we do. Yes, guys, we are on a roll here. We have about 6 games left to pick. I'm going to jump back in this thing. We're going to start with our guest Joel today. Joel, the next game on the list, a team that we spoke about briefly today on the show, the Detroit Lions. They're going to travel out to Los Angeles to face the Chargers. Detroit at L.A. Who do you think is going to win this one?
I'm taking the Lions. I think defense travels well. Lions are taking this one.
I like that team. Scott, over to you. Same question. Lions at Chargers.
I think the Chargers are paying a lot of money for that cat. And they just beat up on the Jets. They just beat up on the Jets, and now they're going to be playing in the nicest stadium on the planet.
You know, I seen when we were down there playing the Rams, somebody had their parking receipt, $125 to park.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow.
So we think we have it bad up here in Pittsburgh. $125.
So I'm taking the Chargers.
All right. You know what I think is going to be the case with Justin Herbert? He's going to be another one of these guys that has a good career passing wise. I don't think he's ever going to get it done, especially in that franchise. Maybe at some point he'll get out of there. And
is it Phillip Rivers take 2?
I do believe so.
Oh, man. What was the kid before him? The one that went to the Super Bowl, Humphreys.
Well, Stan Humphries was in the 90s, but you got to remember Drew Brees
was there.
Was originally San Diego, and he wouldn't have won it. He went to New Orleans and won the Super Bowl, of course.
Well, they said that he was done, and they shipped him out.
That's right. San Diego, yes. Of course, they're not San Diego anymore. I'm having a hard time.
It's still the same owner.
All right, we'll stick with that. Yeah. Next game on the list is going to start with you, Scott. Scott, this game is between the Atlanta Falcons and the Arizona Cardinals, a couple of birds that nobody really cares about in the NFL. Not here, at least. Scott, Falcons at Cardinals. Who do you like in this one?
I like the Falcons in this one. I think the Falcons, even though they're 4-5, I think that if you look at that division, that's still up for grabs. And Atlanta does not leave. They're not lose. They haven't lost that eye of the prize type of thing. I think they still believe it's not a bad team. It's a young team. They've had some good wins this year.
They've had a couple.
They came off a disappointing loss in Minnesota, though. Yeah, I admit that was pretty disappointing. But I'm going to take the Falcons.
We're going to swing over to Joel. Joel, same question to you, my friend. The Falcons at the Cardinals. Who do you like in this football game?
I'm going Cardinals on this one. Surprisingly, I think Kyler Murray coming back is going to spark up a little win with his return. So
I'm excited to watch Kyler back as well, man. Yes, absolutely. Guys, NFC East showdown this game between a team that's pretty good and a team against a team that's not very good. The New York Giants, they make the trek down to Dallas to play the Cowboys. I'm going to start with you, Joel. Is there any way that this New York Giants team could get up to beat the Cowboys?
I don't think so. That's them boys all day.
Yeah.
Yep.
As much as I hate to say it,
Yeah, unfortunately, the Giants just don't look right. They just don't look right.
You know what? They got to be sick with the money they spend on.
Man.
Yeah. All right. You know where we were going.
Man.
Okay. Scott, this is going to be interesting because a lot of times you play devil's advocate, it seems, in your picks. I'm going to find it very difficult to believe that you are going to be able to take the Giants over the Cowboys. Who do you like?
Well, I mean, we just talked about the Cardinals being so bad, and they beat the Cowboys.
They did.
Can't.
And you know what? I believe that
I'm probably going to lose when it comes to picks. This is why you don't gamble. This is on my picks, because if you have a gambling problem, just go to church. Don't gamble. Definitely don't gamble on my picks, because I just play from my heart, and I just don't think the Cowboys.
There's some unstable person out there listening to this show that's taking the team that you're picking.
I have some really good friends that are Cowboys fans, and I hope they don't take offense to it. I don't like Jerry Jones. I don't like the organization anymore. I used to like the Cowboys when Tony Dorsett was there, and I didn't know any better. And Roger Staubach, phenomenal quarterback. But
the bright star, Tony Dorsett.
Who's the quarterback for the Giants now? Danny Jones is out. They got another kid in there. They might do good.
They had Tyrod Taylor. They had a couple of these guys.
That's who's starting this weekend, right?
So who do you like in this one? We do got about 4 more games.
I told you.
So you want the Giants?
Yeah.
Wow. Even Tyrod is a little beat up. I don't know, man.
Even the Giants are shocked that you picked them.
All right, guys.
The whole city of New York's wondering what the heck's going on down there.
All right, speaking of the NFC East and teams that are a bit under par, the Washington Commanders, guys, they travel across the country. One of the furthest trips you could take. They travel from Washington to Seattle to play the Seahawks on Sunday at 4:25. Scott, who's going to win this football game between the Commanders and the Seahawks?
I think the Seahawks got this one.
Okay. And
they got rid of Washington. Got rid of Chase Young, huh?
Yeah, San Francisco picked them up. Like they need another defensive powerhouse. I get. Over to you, Joel. Same question. Seattle's at home hosting Washington. Who do you like?
I'll go with Seahawks as well.
Yeah. We're going to hop to the next game, fellas. This game is the Sunday night football game. Of course, these Sunday nights, all these primetime games that the Jets are getting, these were meant for Aaron Rodgers. We know that. They lose them after 4 plays, and yet the Jets still go on primetime most all season. Jets at Raiders, guys. The Jets travel to Las Vegas. We've been talking heavily about Las Vegas today. Jets, Raiders. Joel, who do you think?
I think the Raiders will hold on to this one.
Okay.
It's going to be a low-scoring, tight game, but I think it's going Raiders.
Okay. Same, Scott, over to you. Same question, sir. Jets
I'm just going
to
add to what you said. You know, the whole theme song is I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. I will not be waiting all day for this game.
Well, they showed
I just won't.
All 3 primetime games this week. Thursday,
I'm going to try
Sunday,
to stream some kind of
and Monday.
Dominican baseball game Sunday night.
Thursday,
instead of watching these two jokes of organizations play each other.
Take the Eagles.
The Raiders, if anything, have a chance because they brought in, they got rid of the terrible coaching, and the guy that took over, they won last week with this.
All
thing.
3 primetime games: Thursday, Sunday, Monday. 5 of the 6 teams are under 500. Interesting football.
Oh wow!
Say the
Maybe
least.
they didn't get this one right.
The Bills is the only one, and the Bills are the only one above, right?
Yeah, they're 5-4, I believe, or 5-3.
And they don't look that great.
They do not look that great.
So I'm gonna go with the Raiders on that one.
Joel, Jets, Raiders.
He
Raiders.
said Raiders.
Yeah,
we both said Raiders.
Okay, gotcha. All right, got 2 games left, guys. I have the Monday Night Football game, and I have the Pittsburgh Steelers game. We're going to squeeze these in because we are getting there. Monday Night Football game, I'm going to start with Joel. Joel, the Broncos and the Bills. Broncos are traveling up to Western New York to play the Buffalo Bills. Who do you think wins this football game?
I think that's Bills at home.
All right, good deal. Over to you, Scott. Same question. Broncos at Bills.
Something's going on in Denver. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the Peyton effect, right? That's who's up there.
Oh, I agree with you. One week they're giving up 70
They didn't
points.
like him. None of his team liked him. They just started out horrible, and now what? They come back. They beat the Chiefs, and they had a bye week, right?
They lose to the Dolphins by they give up 70 points, and then they beat the Chiefs. I can't make ends.
It's a
with this
kooky
team.
season. So, but if I'm going by what I've seen lately, like what have you done for me lately, and I look at both these teams, I have to pick the Broncos because the Bills haven't shown me anything lately, and the Broncos have.
You know, the thing about these crazy picks that Scott makes, he finds ways to justify them, and it's even more mind-blowing. And finally, guys, the last game of the week, the one that makes we're interested in the most, of course, two storied franchises. One's coming over from Wisconsin, as we know, the Green Bay Packers, to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers right here at Acrisure Stadium on Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'm going to start with our guest today, Joel. Packers at Steelers. Who do you think?
I'm going Steelers, man, all the way. I think Deontay Johnson back. I think Broderick Jones in the lineup. I think the Steelers are in, man, and I'm not saying that they're going to blow anybody away, but they're taking the right steps, and I like what I saw this past Sunday. I'm going Steelers.
I couldn't agree with you more. What we're going to do, we're going to have you think about what you believe the final score is going to be. I'm going to get his prediction, come back. We're going to get your scores and turn that into a tiebreaker just in case. So you think about that for a moment. Scott, over to you. Packers, Steelers in Pittsburgh, Sunday. Who do you think?
I'm trying to find a quarter. No, I don't have one. I don't agree with Joel on. I wasn't impressed with the Steelers. They got the win.
Right.
And so if the Steelers win, it'll be the same way that they did before. I think this is going to be closer than people realize. You can't look at the records here
It's going to be a close one. There's nothing that tells me that the Steelers are going to blow anybody out this season.
I agree. And I don't want to interrupt Scott, but 2 drop passes, we're talking about 14 more points last game. So
and this one guy,
the offense did not move.
The one guy makes a catch, 100 times a season. He doesn't drag his toe on that same kind of catch in the end zone. Come on, that's a big difference.
Yep.
Scott, you were
6 of the 7 penalties called against the Titans.
These referees are a whole different kind. They're a whole different story.
3 of them were 3 on the offense, 3 on the defense. Were all 6 of those plays were critical third down plays that changed the game. So I don't understand how they only cheated when it mattered.
I'm not a fan of Philadelphia or Dallas, but you know what? That Dallas-Philadelphia game was unwatchable last week.
It was unwatchable. I agree with
Unbelievable.
that. I agree with that.
I'm just gonna pick the Steelers because I think they have that magic. Not Fitzpatrick magic, not too much magic, but they have magic.
Scott, you're taking the magic. I need you to think about your score for a minute while I hop over to Joel. Joel, what do you believe the score, or want to predict the score will be for this football game? Packers at Steelers.
I think I'm going to go 23-17 on this.
That's a super awesome pick where I think we're going to be right in the ballpark. Scott, now what do you believe the score is going to be?
I don't think they have 23 points in them.
Well, we got
17-10.
30 seconds of the show.
17-10.
17-10. That puts Scott. Scott, you have a 27-point total. Joel, you have 40-point total. So that is our tiebreakers. If it comes down to it and you 2 gentlemen tie, we're going to revert back to these numbers. 27, 40, whoever gets the closest without going over, of course, like the normal tiebreaker would go. We are all set in stone, just like the Flintstones. Back to you, Scott.
Yeah, we have 30 seconds before it's over. Yes. I need to let us go. Man, it's been great. Thank you so much for coming in, Joel. Can't wait till you come and do it again. I'm sure when baseball season rolls back around, at least I'll be able to get you to come in for opening day.
Hey, remember, there's always baseball when you're Dominican, so I can be here anytime. Baseball. There's always baseball when you're Dominican.
Make sure if your kid's into baseball, get in touch with TK Camp. What's the number?
That's TK training camp, baseball and softball, and the hitting upgrade. Just go online. You can book anything online, especially any kind of private workouts. You can see us there 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you're looking to do. Come and check us out. Let's get those kids playing some good ball.
It's been great tonight. I think this is one of my most enjoyable shows to be a part of. Stay tuned next week. Watch the bobbleheads grow. You've been listening to WBVP 99.3 here at St. Barnabas. See you next week in exactly 166 hours.